What is good? What is good?
What's up, man? What's going on?
I'm here. It's been a while since we've been live. I came back from vacation. When we hit 30K, I missed that. I couldn't. The internet was bad, so I couldn't really get on.
Right. Yeah, we gotta do it however we do it. It's starting grounds. These are starting grounds, the fundamental.
So this is actually our first live stream of 2025.
Well, second.
And it's a pretty
together. Well, yes, it's the first live stream together. Our first
Yeah.
live stream together for 2025. Yeah,
Yes,
you're right. You're right.
So TikTok's going dark. It went dark. So what's your thoughts on that?
I'll be honest. I think something was in the play, meaning, and these are my thoughts. I thought something was in the play because
what do you mean?
Once I seen Zuckerberg came out, dropped the whole Facebook thing where they taking off the restrictions. Then I seen
Now, how long ago was that?
This was about 2 weeks ago. So I think it was like Fox or something. So he dropped the video. Then after the CEO, whoever the person that's in charge for Meta came on, he was explaining some of the new stuff. That's when I really was like, oh man, something's up.
So what, did they drop the free speech and all that stuff? Block?
I think that's what they're aiming for. It's like they're trying to change the culture at Meta because it's been restricted for the last 4 years due to the administration.
So it's possible that they're trying to gain these people that TikTok's going to lose.
Well, we didn't know this because mine is a speculation.
Okay.
Mine is a speculation. So it's like, so that's why I said I thought that was weird, but it's not really indicative of what's to come. It's like, I thought that was weird, because I didn't really hear about the ban until like closer to the deadline. But
this started way back when Trump was in office.
You remember? Yeah, so he was on the other side. He wanted them to go.
The initial thingings. Oh, we got some comments. We got the initial meetings.
Let's see.
Egyptian goddess.
Yeah, what's up? What's up?
Thank you.
Yeah. So what's up, guys? Well, you want to let's kind of hold off a little bit. Let some people come in a little bit. Let's see.
Hey, let us know where you are checking in from, and how's the mic? Does the mic sound okay?
Yeah. How do we sound? How do we look?
Let's get them in here. But yeah, this whole TikTok thing got a lot of people on edge, because when you look at the people voting on these laws, they're invested elsewhere in other places.
Yeah, I agree because I thought the same thing too. I think a lot of those people, like I think me and you share the same sentiments. A lot of people that's passing the laws. Yeah, he said sound is clear. Yeah.
Thank you, goddess. Thank you.
Yeah. So most of the people passing the laws, they got investments in probably Facebook, YouTube, and stuff like that. So
can you connect that to insider trading? Is it kind of the same thing?
I don't know. And that I'm out of my depth right there. I don't know.
Because you think about it. The ones writing the law owns the companies that they're writing the laws for.
But if you really look at I'll be honest, I don't know too much about laws, so I'm not gonna try to break it down. But some of the laws that they do pass are not for them. If you read the bylaws are for citizens, and they are. We got to get like a scholar that knows how to break down the law. But
yeah, we'll get somebody in here.
Yeah, but those people who write the law, some of them are exempt from it. Not all of them. Certain laws that they create, they're exempt from it. And I was seeing that with I can't remember the case right now. That's why I'm kind of choosing my words a little bit. But yeah, some of the stuff that they write, they're exempt from it. Not all of it, but some.
Well, so do you think TikTok's gonna come back?
I was watching. Well, let's do this. This is what I was watching recently. Let me pull it up. So let me do a share screen and we run. Let me go back to my history right quick.
Make sure your history is clean.
Nah, align with this, man. Make sure your history is clean. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? My history is clean.
I don't know. Heard you might have been at some of those Diddy parties.
And that ain't my style. Far from that. Here we go. So this dropped when
you about to share it?
Yeah, I gotta share it. I just want to make sure I pull up the the right screen. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be.
Yeah, I got a whole what they call it? They call it Space Station. Got like 4 screens in front of me. So
yeah, I know you got your monsoon of over there. I just got my little laptop. I'm working on this year I'm gonna get my whole new setup.
Yeah.
All right.
1 second, I gotta slide this across. Bond.
The US. So, all they have to do is
this was TikTok. This is old Larry take on TikTok going dark. Well, this is his thing. I think he wanted to purchase TikTok and the price point that he dropped, because I was listening to this on Friday when I think he said he put out a bid for like 20 billion. Yo, these dudes were talking number. I was like, God, the dude just said 20, but they said
20 bill.
Yeah, for TikTok.
What is it worth?
Oh, Larry and what you call it put up 20 billion for TikTok. That's a bid.
Okay, and that was too low?
I think so.
First of all, I mean they ain't trying to sell because they're making massive amount of money off of it.
So think about it. What good is TikTok currently right now? It went dark.
Yeah.
Just in America. I don't know the numbers, but
it's still working in the rest of the world.
Yeah, but
it lost a huge part of its market.
But think about it. I can't remember the exact numbers for TikTok, but if you look, they said if TikTok were to operate, let's say come Monday, every subscriber they had to pay some number like $3,000 for every subscriber. That's over like $1 billion a day.
Yeah.
Who want to take on that?
So that's basically why they shut it down, because they don't want to pay the fine.
Exactly. They didn't want to go. They didn't want to face those charges.
178 million users.
Yeah.
In America.
Times that by 3,000.
So 3,000 times that a day. Wow. No wonder they went dark.
So it says, you got a comment there. People were getting too much knowledge and help. They didn't like that people were waking up. I think I understand what he was saying, because I seen someone else said that too, and I think he's meant referencing to. Well, she's referencing to TikTok, because I think I seen on the Angry Man podcast too. Where people were waking up in the sense of, and I could be wrong. You could kind of elaborate there, Lena, on what you mean by that, because the Angry Man podcast was showing that too, where he was explaining where people were leaving. Well, that was his. Let me break down his narrative. He was explaining where people were leaving TikTok and going to like Red Note and other stuff, and they were seeing like lavish lifestyle and stuff like that, where there's no like credit check. If you got money, you could purchase a house. They got droids and just a different way of living. It's like, you could go out and purchase a car and you could purchase things. You got to work for your money, but the way of life is different, and so that was one person point of view. But yeah, let's hop back on this. But yeah,
okay, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so this was the old Larry on TikTok going dark or whatever. This was dropped yesterday. Let's make this a large screen. There we go.
And Kevin O'Leary has just fired up his camera in Miami to join us now live. Kevin, let me just get to it. What conversations have you had in the last hour that move the ball closer or further to the TikTok lifesaver line?
Most important thing that happened, Liz, in the last couple of hours is the opinion letter from Justice that really cleared up a few unknowns. And this is very important for the market to know. On page 5 and 6 of the opinion, it's very clear that the idea of using the Chinese algorithm going forward, that opportunity is gone. The idea of forking the code, as it's called. And there was a rumor yesterday that that would be an option for buyers. It isn't. So this is what makes Frank so valuable in this deal now. He spent years and millions of dollars preparing a tech stack to replace that algorithm with something you as the user have control over your own data and you can share in revenues also. It also provides interoperability with other social media. It's what we've been missing in the whole social media landscape. And that was an option 2 hours ago. Now it's a need, it's a must. So Frank has that piece. I have the ear of 6 million plus businesses on TikTok. I do not want this shut off, not for 1 second. Not for 1 second. So we have a very complicated dance occurring here between the Biden administration and the Trump administration. We'll have to serve them both in the next 48 hours, and we understand that. And they both know that our bid is out there. Every shareholder knows it. The company knows it. If they sign that LOI, we'll get that 90-day stay of execution. That's what's important.
Doesn't this all depend on an organization that nobody here controls, and that's ByteDance, the parent of TikTok in China? And maybe I was thinking about this, maybe they want to shut it down so that they divide this country even more. They make, business owners angry at the Biden administration and the Trump administration, because it's really now in the Trump administration's hands.
Quick question there, right?
What's up?
You see how she laid it out? So, hold on. This is Fox, right?
Yeah.
So, who administration set forth the law? Was the Biden administration, right?
I'm not sure, but I know the whole TikTok thing started under Trump.
No, he started the. I think he started the accusation, but I don't think he was the person that implemented. But
it could have been passed under Biden. The Supreme Court made it a law.
Right. So, I listened to why they did it. I probably might pull that up in a little bit, but the reason why they passed it because it was a lot of people is really taking it for what you call it. I understand why they passed it because after listening to some of the justice,
it's based on security.
Exactly, and that's what I was getting to.
National security and threats towards the country.
Okay. So I think that position was right because you don't ever want to have a foreign country controlling your users' information because they can use it against the
and that's kind of what they're alluding to.
Okay, so it says knowing that corporations were the government and they had lied to the people. Okay.
So do you think they lied to the people? Or do you think people aren't really reading into what's going on?
I like to hear more from her because I fully want to get her point of view because sometimes people are not really I'm not gonna pick that side. I play devil advocate once in a while,
You
right?
have to.
Right. So the way how I look at it is like this, right? Sometimes people are not lied to, it's just that's what they want to hear. Right. And you also have the people that you could tell them you could tell them the truth all day long and they ain't gonna believe.
Because I have always known they wanted to shut it down because of national security. I've known that from day one. I remember when it came out and Trump talked about it. And another app that I stopped using, which is also connected to this, is CapCut, who is also the same type of company where all the information goes back to China. And realistically, if they have that on your phone, it can go in there and complicate things. So they've always mentioned it was for national security since they talked about it. But a lot of people just think that the government is trying to ruin their lives in certain ways. But I've always known that.
But take a step back, right? Take a step back. Let's take a step back, right? And we go through this like this, right? the more I think about it is, I'm not a doom and gloom person, but you also got to sit and think and analyze on a global scale.
Uh-huh.
If you got half Americans with TikTok and like Chinese software, right? What could they actually do? Because not to bring it up, and I'm
Bring it up. We're already here.
No, I'm prefacing the inauguration day for was it January 6th? It was January 6th.
Yep.
When they went back and they checked the phones, they were able to track people who were at the Capitol.
Yeah.
By their phones.
Yeah.
And that was crazy. It wasn't the first time, but that's when people got to realize the government could track you and tell you where you're at by your phones. I think that was the first time in my opinion.
That's for you. I mean, I've realized that a long time ago.
Right.
A lot of these murders get solved by your phone, and even if you shut it off, it still works.
Right, but that was yes, that's true. Yes, I knew of the towers and they could ping your location and all that, but the realization was more what they could do in a situation of that magnitude.
Yeah.
You get what I'm trying to say? It's like that's when people kind of realize it's like, that's crazy.
But I've always known that. Because like, especially like when I go hiking and different things and I go off the grid, stuff don't even make it in the hills with me. They get left on the bottom somewhere or even at home if you truly want to go off the grid.
Okay.
Yeah,
so, go ahead, read it. Okay.
Yeah, you can read it.
It says both Trump and hold on, I gotta read it on the screen. Both Trump tried to get them to hold off until after he was in office fully. So yeah, that's true. That's true.
It's speculated that the owner of the app was supposed to, I guess, attend Inauguration Day.
Yeah, they were there. I think they were there last night. I was watching a little bit of it. Yeah, the stream that I was watching, it was like a loop or something like that. So it was triggering me because it's like you could tell you watching something that's just looping. And like,
yeah.
Go ahead.
No, you good.
Yeah, but I think that's their play because I think I read a post or something. I didn't verify it, but I was reading a post where it was on the TikTok website. Let me see if I could pull that up. Because if you go to TikTok,
yeah, I tried getting in last night.
Yeah, if you go to TikTok, that's what they say.
Yeah. Okay. Let me just get the first verse in the chorus.
I know after like
three
a few
secrets
minutes,
every girl needs to know.
Oh, mine's is working. I don't think I'm logged in though.
VPN on.
Humans were never meant to see.
Where you logged in from? Russia?
No, I'm not logged in. So mine is working.
Times. You called me!
My girlfriend cheated on me, so I let her entire family watch. I had a feeling my girlfriend was cheating on me because she was setting off a lot of red flags.
But I'm not signed in though.
She was constantly laughing and smiling while texting, and whenever I asked
but yeah,
who it
when
was,
I asked,
she claimed it was just her mother. She started staying late at work every night, but when I called the office,
turn that off.
She had left hours ago. When I confronted her about it, she'd just laugh it off, saying it was something they all did.
Yeah, but last night when I opened it up,
okay.
Let me see. Let me go to another one. Let me open a different one because last night it said they were waiting for Trump. Whatever it was on their page, they was like they're waiting for Trump to take office before they could. Yeah.
Yeah, it says it's on the app too. Let me see if I can pull it up.
But mine's is working though. They probably came
to
a conclusion.
Hi, it's Vanessa there.
This is she.
Hey.
Yeah, the app is still down.
So it's probably that's the website because I know I've seen it where I read it and it said, hey, they're waiting for Trump to get into office.
Yeah, basically that's what they alluded to.
Yeah, because
now what can he do to save it? Like, what does he have to sign some order or because I know the Supreme Court came out and said that they're gonna hold a ruling.
So that's what this video was given an answer to. That's what he was given an answer to, or Larry was given an answer to, is I think the Supreme Court shut down where the thing with the algorithm. And let me just kind of run this back right here so you can see. This is what he was talking about right here.
Yeah,
I'll pull this up a little bit.
That's what's important.
Doesn't this all depend on an organization that nobody here controls, and that's ByteDance, the parent of TikTok in China? And maybe they I was thinking about this, maybe they want to shut it down so that they divide this country even more. They make, business owners angry at the Biden administration and the Trump administration, because it's really now in the Trump administration's hands.
Yeah, well, that was tried in India. 210 million in 2020. Mm-hmm. And there was a kerfuffle for about 4 days. And then all the users went to other platforms. That's not a good outcome for ByteDance shareholders. And a lot of those shareholders are American institutions. So, let's say roughly that it's worth $20 billion. Why give that up? Why not give that to shareholders that already exist? And also, I think there's probably between Trump and Xi some kind of negotiation going on here. We don't know what, because we know that conversation occurred. And TikTok's a small part of it. We know that Donald Trump's a deal maker, that's for sure. I've talked to him about this. I know with certainty he does not want to see it shut down, if it's possible. But it's now back to Xi. He's got to decide, is he going to let this company sell elements of itself, including TikTok USA, but not the algorithm, to someone who can buy it and sign that LOI so we get the 90-day stay. The worst thing that could happen for everybody involved is to have it go dark for even 1 hour.
Okay, and let's explain why, because some people don't understand TikTok. They think it's just an app where people and young kids can dance around. That is hardly it. In fact, Washington Post had an article that indicated that TikTok added, and this is according to ByteDance, by the way, but that added $24.2 billion to the U.S. economy in 2023, the most recent numbers, and $14.7 billion in revenue for small businesses. I've profiled businesses that began on TikTok and burgeoned. And these are people who had no job during the pandemic, and they had to find a way to make some money. And now they're making 7 figures.
It's very important it stays alight. You know that. Those are all my people. That is, 62% of jobs created in America are companies 5 to 500. Practically all of them use TikTok for customer acquisition. This is bad for the U.S. if this happens. It's bad for China's relationships with the U.S. All they have to do is abide by what has been put forward by the justices. They made it very clear in this. And by the way, Liz, 9-0 Supreme Court decision. That's definitive. They basically made a decision here, and we all have to abide by it. But it doesn't have to shut down. And Frank and I want to go forward here. We want to be part of the solution. We're going to work with anybody. Remember, these businesses are Democratic businesses and Republican businesses. We're agnostic to politics here. We want to save this for everybody's benefit, and we have a path to do so.
Part of the criticism was the algorithm, that the algorithm has been tweaked to, again, divide Americans, become a wedge in certain political issues, whether it was October 7th or the election, anything else, and also feeding Americans a bunch of drivel, which, by the way, the app in China does not do that. So you say that you've got the edge here because you guys don't want the algorithm. You're not even putting in the bid for that. And so maybe that's something that TikTok would agree to?
Maybe, because right now we know with certainty, as of the justice's opinion, it's right there at the bottom of page 5. Right. Can't use it and don't want it. And they're very clear, 9-0. I mean, I haven't seen a more definitive decision, and it was debated for a long time, but it's definitive now. And listen, we don't have to divide America. We can unite America. That's what Frank and I want to do. Then we're going to get on a plane and go to India, then Switzerland, then France, then Germany, then Canada. This is a whole change to the environment of social media. This is the beginning, Liz. And
wait, hold up. Are you saying that if you get it, you're going to put that form of it here in the U.S. in front of India and
everywhere that's a friendly nation, that obviously in cooperation with the regulator here in the U.S., that lets us do that. Do you think the Canadians are going to leave it on the minute it gets shut down here? No. Same with everywhere else. They're going to abide by and listen to what the Supreme Court said about this. And after we do that, just the way we look at it and why I'm so excited about this is a legacy deal for Frank and I. This will become the world's largest television network that supports free speech and democracy all around the world. And the users own their own data. Now, that's a vision.
Yeah. And you want world domination, not just with TikTok, but Mr. Watch, you have this watch collection. I heard you just bid on the watch that's on our screen. I mean, have you showed this off at all for 220?
Yeah. So you see what they were trying to do there? So you see his plan, right? So the whole thing is, if someone's going to buy TikTok, they would want the algorithm. But since it was shut down, they can't buy the algorithm. So his boy got the algorithm to take it over. Because guess what? Whoever purchases it, they can't use the algorithm.
Man, that's in another world right there, man.
So
what kind of got me, it was the way that they're defacing the app in order to buy it.
Well, he wasn't necessarily. Who was defacing
because basically what he said is, once the rest of the world finds out the real reason why it's shut down in America, they will be just as shocked. But when it comes to security, because now they're going to look at it as, well, if America is running from this, we need to also. So a lot of other countries going to pull out, because like he said, Canada. Do you think Canada's going to shut it down too?
Yeah, because the reality is what they're giving their people is like this. Facebook going into, let's say, China, it's not the same. YouTube going into a lot of these, so it's like this. What goes into their country, they limit. There's limitation on what goes into their country, but it's like this. If I could control whatever you bring into my country, but it's not like that on the opposite side, it's not fair.
Yeah, of course.
Because you got control over our people, but we don't got control over your people. You know what I'm saying? So it's trying to level the playing fields, because because he says some key points in there. He says the user controlled their data.
So what does that actually mean? Because doesn't somewhere or someone have to store your data somewhere? That's why we use Google. Got all these servers, and like, I don't want to save my own data. Well, so what do they mean by that? Is it still being stored somewhere, or do you own it?
Huh? You don't want to save your data. Some people want to control their data.
So that's what I mean. So just say you're going to control your own data. Does that mean you only save it? Like, it doesn't upload anywhere but at your house or your place?
Well,
I don't have those,
because it goes deeper than that. It goes deeper than that, right? So yeah, that goes a little deep. Let's stay away from that, because that's getting into like Amazon cloud and all that. We're not up for that. But the reality is, what I was going to say is, some people like yourself, they just want to upload. It goes on the cloud, it stays on the cloud. You get what I'm trying to say? Got some people that don't really want that, but the where that get tricky is, once you get on a YouTube and you create that media, it's out there forever.
It is.
So it's like, but there's certain, and if we're talking about like primarily videos, it's out there. But like, let's say they got content like me. I've been on YouTube for years. No one ever seen me, right? But I got hundreds of videos in my private, because I teach online. So it's like, I got hundreds of videos of me teaching, but it's only for the community or the people that I teach. So it's not necessarily for everyone, because it's like, I've been creating videos. I use YouTube to get it to the medium and the classes that I need to get it to, and not necessarily for the public. So that's how I use YouTube for the last several years. I never use it for like a show for this or any other thing.
You go to YouTube when you're looking for something.
Exactly. So I was using it
without using your hands. Go on YouTube and you'll find out.
So I use it in a different way, because like you said, it was storage. I wanted to implement it where I wanted a way where I could place the media where people could get it and access it at any time. So that's how I intended to use YouTube for the last several years. But getting back on here is like, some people, it all depends. If it's media, it's hard to control because it's out. But if it's like your personal information, that's a different situation. But yeah.
Well, I got a comment coming in from me. This is Peapod Code, my other channel. And it's a two-part question. You think Trump's going to save TikTok?
I think so, because they did reference that a lot of the companies through the pandemic started through TikTok. And some of these companies are now worth about 6 figures or more. And a lot of people opportunity because I was watching people crying on TikTok.
Oh yeah, a lot of lives are changed.
Yeah,
like you just imagine, you go from making 6 figures to zero, like in seconds. You know, like I just hope some of these people were smart enough to try to, because it's been going on for a while. So hopefully they got other places where they started up different places in different social media places now, and they got a broader, but I know it's a huge loss. And the second part, if it doesn't come back, what's the other alternatives?
There's none. There's no other alternative.
So nothing's better than the original.
Because the reality is, the main part that he just said was the algorithm. The algorithm is gone. They don't want that algorithm. So guess what? Like these other, my daughter was telling me like what, Red Note, Lemon 8. I said, think about it. What's the purpose of restarting over on a different platform to build all of that, and it's still a foreign country? The law, yes, the law is like this. Yeah, they have a law for TikTok, but like they saying, it's like, hey, people know how to get around these things. It's like, all right, we create a law, people read the law, they bypass it, they're going to amend the law saying, all right, any foreign thing, they're going to go back in and just add the word to be explicit. Hey, needs to be like a U.S. shareholder, whatever they need in there to make sure that it's concrete. That's all they got to do, because guess what? They're not expected. Yeah, copycatters and all of that stuff. Because you remember when Trump came out, he came out with True Social. It got all these other, you remember all these other things, people can't popped up in the forefront. When something goes down, something else comes up. Because that was the thing I was telling you. I wanted a quick reference this and go back. What's Instagram? Instagram wiped out Kodak films.
I mean, every company, there's a lot of companies that get lost in the sauce,
All they had to do was just acquire damn Instagram and they would have been good. We would have seen Kodak till this day.
Oh, I know.
Kodak, if you look at it, right? And we go down the list. I think we talked about this. It was what? Blockbuster got knocked out by Netflix.
Yeah.
And guess what? Blockbuster did promote Netflix.
Yeah. But nobody understood what the Netflix play was, because eventually they didn't know Netflix was going to become a streaming platform. So they attacked it from the DVD perspective, but they didn't know what their plans were.
Yeah. So, and you look at it. So it's like this. It's like, do O'Leary have a point in what he's saying? Like TikTok could become like a powerhouse, because it's like this. I like their business strategy. They already got the solution for TikTok already. So did they know this day would come where they already had people working on formulas like the algorithm, or just a person that is out there and he already, is like us thinking down the road where you have
he's a businessman, so they're in a lot of different rooms out there where a lot of these things are being talked about.
But it's been months though, so I think so it's been years, because since it's been litigating, I think they started working on a strategy. Like, hey, if TikTok
okay, hold up. He said he was gonna purchase it, right?
Yeah, him and his boy.
Okay, so that will explain why they have the knowledge, because if you're gonna buy something, you got to do a deep dive.
So they probably started on that strategy like years ago.
Exactly.
It's like, let's say if we can't buy the algorithm, and guys, that's how these guys think.
I never thought about that. I thought that,
So if they were planning that, it's like, yo, if TikTok goes offline, can we acquire it, and do we have the algorithm or the necessary function to keep this thing going? Damn, I ain't never think about that.
No, that's definitely something that, well, when you business minded and you understand how things work, that's information they have that we don't have knowledge of. So when you go into that space and you was able to get with a tech personnel says, hey, well, we need an algorithm to run this app. This is how this thing works. And from what I see, TikTok has one of the greatest algorithms of all time because it keeps you on that platform. That's why I try not to use it too much.
Yeah,
but
the algorithm is pretty good.
I gotta head out.
Pretty good,
huh?
Yeah, so we could shut down. But before we go, right? What I wanted to do was Egyptian goddess and Elena. Did I pronounce that right?
Elaine R.
Elaine, yeah.
Elaine R. Yeah.
Yeah, Elaine R. So what we want to do is we made you guys moderators. So we're gonna be doing more lives. We're gonna be coming to you with more live content. That's our goal. So let's shout out our goals for this year. You want to say one? You got what's your goal for Line with us for this year?
To create a safe space where people can come in here and voice their opinions. We want to bring people on the show as well, and let them have a voice.
I thought you was gonna go left field with that for a second, Pete.
No. I want to interact with people, and me, Elmer, and Hunter, we can always hang out at a different time. Don't worry about that.
So one of our goals for this year is to get to 100,000 subscribers. So that's one of our biggest goal, and we want to build an online community where we get that loyal 10,000 subscribers. And by doing so, it's like when we go live, we're looking for moderators. So since these two people joined, Goddess and ER came in, right? I made them moderators. What they could do is come in, help out with the chat when we go live. We're looking for, Eileen, right? So, and that's the thing, because I know certain people be saying, trust me, when I'm in the classroom, I hear some names sometimes, and it's like, you think you pronounce how you know, they correct you. It's like, okay, I understand. So Eileen, right? So
appreciate you, Eileen.
So I made you a moderator. So anytime we go live, you want to jump in, help us out in the chat, you can. You guys have the little wrench there by your name. You could, as we build, you're going to have a little bit more outsiders that are not friendly. We're going to call them ops, right?
Yeah.
So,
they're going to come. I got to head out of here. I got a 15-minute drive.
So yeah, we're going to end the stream. We're going to end the stream on that one. So probably go live. We set up the time we go live. So, all right, guys, this was a short one. We come back to you with a longer one.
Yep. TikTok ban is on. See y'all on the next one.
There we go.